All right.
Stories like Lisa's prove that you can be an entrepreneur under any circumstances, even while raising 8 kids. Forbes recently covered a woman named Catherine Alford who runs 2 six-figure companies while being a stay-at-home mom. Whew, what do you think about that, Julia?
Incredible. If it weren't Forbes, I would think it's a fake story because I don't believe it. I'm sure it happens. I don't believe I could ever do it. I mean, for everybody who knows me.
It's not a lot of people lined up outside to have that.
Correct. And for all of our viewers who know me, like, I don't ever plan on having kids or anything because I love my job. I don't ever plan on leaving my job. But I just don't think you can have it all at the same time. You know, I think Lisa is incredible. She's I don't know. I still think in this day and age, she's an exception to the rule.
Could be.
Which is why she's writing a book to teach everybody how to do this. Right?
Could be.
But incredible.
Yes.
Yeah. And then our next guest work focuses on cultivating strong, successful entrepreneurs with her new venture. It's called the Big Talk Academy. Let's welcome to the show Tricia Brouk.
Thank you so much for having me.
How are you?
Here. I'm awesome. Yeah. How are you?
Good.
Good. So tell us about the Big Talk Academy.
The Big Talk Academy is a virtual speaker training. I love putting people who have important messages on the big stage, and I've been doing that in New York for several years. So in order to be able to serve more people and to really help create authentic, heart-driven communicators, I've opened the Big Talk Academy, and I'm so excited about it.
See, nobody's out there is going to say public speaking is not important. It's definitely important. But for a lot of people, like, you know, even myself and growing up, I just felt public speaking was not part of my repertoire because I used to be so bad at it. And I would be better off concentrating on some of the other things that I were really good at, right? I was really good at. And so for those of our viewers who are like, oh, I'm really shy, or I'm like, I don't really feel comfortable going either on camera or in front of like a huge room of, I don't know, 50 people even, where do they even start if they want to?
If you have an important message and you want to share something with the world, it is paramount that you do that. And that requires communication skills. That requires understanding how to communicate about this very important message. It also requires you getting out of your fear and taking that stage so that you can share your message with as many people as possible. Because by sharing your message, you might help one person. And that's the kind of impact public speaking can have in the world.
I like people who wear many hats. A lot of people can't do a lot of things. Some are very targeted, some are very focused, but you went from writing, producing, directing. How do you transition from all of that to public speaking?
Such a great question. I want to make the world a better place, and I do that by putting people who have important messages on the big screen with the documentaries that I make, or on the big stage, whether it's Speakers Who Dare, the Speaker Salon, or TEDx stages. By elevating people with important messages and giving them the skills and the locations to share that message, that's how I can make the world a better place. So the transition from showbiz into public speaking is the same. When I work with my speakers, when I work with my actors, it's all about teaching them objective and action so that they understand how to be authentic, have intention when they go onto stage or when they go onto the theater. And it's about knowing, what do I want from my audience and how am I going to get it? So if I want my audience to lean in, to think, yes, I think that's amazing too, to adopt my idea as their own, my job is to get them to do that. How do I do it? Motivate, inspire, educate, teach. So that's how I go from showbiz into public speaking. It's really all the same for me. It's about being intentional, authentic, and elevating people.
What I want to know is, have you always been such an effective speaker? And I, you know, when I hear your diction, just because I'm on TV too, your diction sounds very trained. It's very crisp. I'm sure, you know, I don't know if that's natural or that's something that was built up after years and years and years of work. So were you always this good? Where did you start? So if you can give our viewers, like, what's realistic to expect?
First, thank you. Second, I started as a dancer. My mode of communication was just physical. I never spoke. So when I became clear that I needed to help other people and began communicating myself through voice, through words, it was very clear to me that this was my next chapter in life.
Okay, and then directing, producing, those are not easy fields to get into, right?
If you're organized and you choose the right actors, you'll have a good product.
No, that is true, but what I'm saying is it's hard to break into. I personally believe anybody can do those jobs if you're detail-oriented and you know where everything is, but once you were in those fields, what called it out so strongly for you that are like, okay, I'm done with this field?
I don't think I'm done with any field, except dancing. I don't want to warm up anymore. I'm good with that. But I think what I learned was if I just said I was going to do something and followed through, all of a sudden I was doing it. I became a documentary filmmaker 3 years ago because I found a subject that I thought was really interesting and I wanted to make a movie about this person. What was going to stop me?
Nothing. Yeah.
It's all about moving through that fear. If you don't have all the answers, look it up, do your research, come prepared, and you can do anything you want.
One of the good things also about your experience that I like is the transitions that you're able to apply from one experience to the next. And so much about our education, so much about things that we learn in our work experiences in the classroom, we don't often get sold on how to transfer those skills. And you've done it very well. So how did you utilize your production experience into your entrepreneurial experience?
Great question. I think when you understand what the goal is and you back up from there, then you can put the steps in place in order to reach what the goal is. And that's about being organized, having the right team, not letting mistakes deter you, because you're going to make mistakes and you should make mistakes. Make big mistakes, make bold mistakes, right? So that you end up on the other side where a place you didn't even know you could exist. I did not have the Big Talk Academy or the Big Talk, my company, only 3 years ago. I was doing my thing in film, television, and theater, and a friend of mine reached out and said, I want you to direct my TEDx. Sounds fun. One-woman show, dramaturg the script, give her blocking choreography. It was really amazing, and I thought that would be it. And then she planted a seed and said, you should do this. And I thought, I should do this. And so my transition was so organic. And what I've realized is I can have massive impact by helping other people take stages. And that's really exciting.
Okay. And then the other thing I want to know is we have talked about techie versus fuzzy a lot on this very show. And some of our viewers are, sufficiently techie, but there are also a lot of people who want to go into a more people-facing role, right? And they love public speaking. Maybe some people, they need some more work on it, but they love getting in front of people, getting on a stage, even one day getting on a TED Talk stage, right? So what pointers do you have for our viewers on this show that they might want to make public speaking a stable part of their career?
If you are an entrepreneur and you become a speaker, it will give you more credibility. And when you are a speaker, if you can remember to be credible, relatable, and vulnerable, you will always connect with your audience. And when you start to write big talks and you take those stages, you get such clarity and confidence around your messaging that all of a sudden you're driving traffic to your business organically. You're out at dinner, you're at a networking event, and you're talking about what you're passionate about because you've practiced that skill set between the writing and the performing, and all of a sudden people are signing up for anything that you're providing.
Okay. And then before we wrap this, are you at liberty to tell us a little bit about your documentary?
Sure.
Yeah.
I have 2 documentaries happening right now. Right Livelihood, A Journey to Here, which is about the Buddhist chaplain at Rikers Island who teaches meditation to the corrections officers. I just applied for an Academy Award for that. Thank you. And my newest documentary, which actually is being screened in New York City at a private screening on September 16th and again in LA in September, is called You're Gorgeous, I Love Your Shirt, an inside look at bullying and mental health. So I really want to shine a light on things that people are doing that make a difference. And I really want people to start talking about mental health and have that conversation and destigmatize it.
Yeah, so great that you never left filmmaking directing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
All right, thank you for joining us, Tricia.
Yeah.